Where are they now? Round 5. Kimberly! AKA Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Ranger, who is probably the most successful actor or actress out of all the original Rangers. But with all due respect, that's probably not saying very much. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's do this thing. Now, as far as character departures go, this is probably the most awkward of them all. I mean, you can tell how hard they were trying to make it dramatic, but there are just so many slip-ups and plot holes that it kinda ruins the moment.
Power Rangers!
We'll get to that in a bit, but right now we're gonna do things a little out of order and start with Amy's departure rather than the characters. It's no big mystery as to why she left, just simply wanted to pursue other things as an actress, and did so very well. But after that, there was only 8 episodes of Mighty Morphin left in general. Well, that's not entirely fair. It was actually about halfway through the 3rd season when she decided to leave, so they decided to have a 10-episode build-up to this departure. Wow. First, a 2-part special to introduce her replacement, Catherine. Then, a 3-part special to introduce new Zords that didn't need a Pink Ranger, and a side story about Kim's stolen power coin. Then 1 episode to introduce a famous gymnastic coach character. Then finally, a 3-part special to clean up all the mess and send Kim on her way. That was only 9, Saban! Well, I mentioned plot holes earlier, but that hit it pretty well. So, with that simulation done, let's take a step back and talk about this departure a little better. Sadly, however, I'm no ranter, but that doesn't mean I can't mention them. Alright, enough of that. Taking things from the top, Catherine with a K, played by Catherine, with a C, an actress they picked up in Australia while filming the first movie, yada yada yada, is originally introduced as a stray cat that is discovered by Aisha and Kimberly in the park. So they take it to an animal shelter that apparently Aisha's been volunteering at for a while now, with the hopes that no one will adopt it so it will be all theirs. Yay! However, what they don't know is that this stray cat is actually Cat, and is under Rita's evil spell to do her bidding with the help of some powers given to her by Rita. Yeah, what could go wrong there? Enough to make Tommy mess up the morph call.
Ranger Ninja Power now!
But I digress. Anywho, needless to say, she does get adopted by Aisha, so Rita is able to proceed with her evil plan to spy on the Power Rangers because the giant telescope was getting old. But there's more. Now, thanks to all of this, Catherine is able to trick Tommy into driving a cool car that ends up getting him trapped in Zed's evil dimension. By doing this, she simply introduces herself as the new girl that nobody's met before and appears very innocent. Great. Then, Tommy obviously escapes, then out of nowhere, Cat turns into a monster that the Rangers defeat, yada yada yada. But after the fight, she is able to befriend them, and to this day it was never said whether or not the Rangers learned she was the monster. Jeez. What's next? New Pinkless Zords! Yay! Wait, actually Finster finds them first, but needs one of the old ones to power them. How do you power a Zord? You need a Ranger's power coin. So Rita warps down to where Kim's power coin is left unguarded, basically in hand's reach, and orders Cat to steal it, which gives them both her Ranger powers and Zords, but since the new coins are connected to their life force, Kim slowly begins to fade. And then she dies and is replaced with the next one in line. No, wait, that didn't happen. I guess only Bioman would go that far. Whew. Anyway, now Lord Zed has his own Zords and the Rangers can't use theirs. So what to do? Duh, he needs pilots, so kidnap Kimberly and force the Rangers to go into your Zords, unguarded, unprotected. Just go in there and assume they'll hold up there into the bargain, right?
This ought to do it.
All right, Billy, I've got control. Woo!
Plot twist. Well, now the Rangers have new Shogun Zords that don't need a pink, so they proceed to beat the baddie without any help from Kim. Next, we get to see the name Gunther Schmidt, a famous gymnastic coach, and Kimberly gets trapped while trying to go see him. So, another fight with no Pink Ranger. But finally we get down to the big story. It all begins when Kim is practicing her gymnastics when guess who shows up and insists that she try out for the Pan-Global tryouts, even offering to be her coach.
You must completely dedicate yourself to your training. If you are to qualify for the Pan-Globals, nothing must come between you and the work we will be doing.
But you know, only if you really want to. So, with Zordon and the others' permission, she puts off her ranger duties and starts focusing on her training. But Rita is furious that one of the rangers is not wanting to fight and get in her way, so she comes up with a very elaborate and tricky plan.
Let's just say, I'll keep our little mole rat so busy that she'll be too exhausted to do anything else but dream of what might have been.
And as planned, the Rangers find it too difficult to battle without Kim's help, forcing her to double shift with that and her training, which ends in her collapsing with exhaustion and banging her head. That both sends her to the hospital and snaps Cat out of Rita's evil spell. Remember, the gymnast board is tougher than a laser. Okay, enough of all this. Let's wrap this up already. Cat betrays Rita and steals back the power coin, also freeing Ninjor. Oh yeah, somewhere in that mess he got captured. Anyway, with Tommy's blessing, Kimberly gives her powers to Cat by handing over the coin, no need for the sword or anything like that, and gives her the pink motorcycle that is never used again, and leaves to pursue a gymnast career, and goodbye! Whew. Don't worry, I promise we won't have another character departure that long. Whew. Now, if all that wasn't awkward enough, Amy Jo actually had a gymnast career before Power Rangers that ended tragically after she chipped an elbow bone. Also, she hates the color pink. But despite all that, I can say out of the original 5, she is the only one that did not leave on bad terms. What happened afterwards? Well, where do I begin? After leaving in 1995, she immediately went on to star in Disney Channel's Susan Q, and also guest starred in Saved by the Bell's The New Class episode, Backstage Pass, the same year, as Linda. Not bad, nothing special. In 1997, she starred in Killing Mr. Griffin as Susan McConnell, and also played Andy Bradley, a gymnast, ironically, with an eating disorder in Perfect Body. No hidden message there, I hope. Also, came back for Turbo, the Power Rangers movie. We all know that story, enough of that one. Amy also participated in the film Without Limits the same year. All this in 2 years. Okay, going pretty good. Nice work, Amy Jo. In 1998, Johnson played a vampire in Cold Hearts, but who cares about that, cause now we're finally at Felicity! Yay! Yes, Julia Emmerich, originally described as a dancer, but was convinced by Amy Jo herself to become a singer/guitar player as she is, which both allowed her to play her original song Puddle of Grace, which was added to the soundtrack of the show, yeah, but also aided her in a future musical career. However, near the beginning of the 3rd season, she did ultimately decide to leave the show in order to give herself some much needed time to grieve over her mother's passing. But in the final season did reprise her role for a few guest appearances. 50 episodes total. Well, this combination of music and acting would continue to serve her well as she went on to star in Sweetwater, a true rock story, which is a biography about Nancy Nevines. This band, Sweetwater, was actually the first band to play in Woodstock Festival.
What's wrong in our school? Politicians are blowing their cools over they who refuse to abide by the rules, though there should be separate dealings.
Today, she has an independent band named Amy Jo Johnson, where she writes and makes her own music independently and sells it on her website, amyjojohnson.com. Woot! So, what's next? Interstate 60, okay. Pursuit of Happiness, oh yeah. Infested, ooh. Hard Grounds, The Division, Adjusting Aubrey, Wildfire, Summer Song, okay. And the list goes on. You get it, right? A very successful actress and musician. However, it doesn't change her image.
To this day, people will say, oh, you're Power Rangers, because it's one of the biggest things. I mean, even Amy Jo, no matter what she does, is the Pink Ranger. It's just the way it is. She does a lot of stuff now, and she's worked on a lot of shows.
Well, I could go on for another month, but I'm just gonna wrap this up. Where is she now? She is a mother of one and currently working on Flashpoint, a CTV police drama where she plays Jules Callahan, which is a whole nother story on its own. Keep on moving, Amy Jo, because in 5 years I will probably have to do a part 2 to this. Whew!
It's morphin' time! Pterodactyl! Pterodactyl!
All right.